Welcome to Two Wheels, and on this week's show we rejoin the Star Boys and chat to them about their riding style when they're back home in the good old US of A. We'll be going back to Morocco to join our riders as they set off on day one of their desert tour. We've got more classics from Jeff, and we'll be joining Wayne in his warehouse, but first here's a voice that you probably won't recognise, but all will be explained.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Men and Motors. Today we're going to be interviewing Sammy Mack, an absolute head case of a stunt rider from the northwest of England, Liverpool.
Well, you heard what he said then, didn't you? Head case of a stunt rider, yes. Head case, yeah. Stunt rider, yes. Now, Sammy, every show you go to, you've got stunt riders, right? There's loads of them. So you would think it would be a brave person trying to make a living in this game now. It's difficult.
It is very difficult. There's so many people doing it at the moment.
So how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it roughly 18 months now myself.
Right.
But I've been noticed by Mag Sport, and they decided to sponsor me and take me a little bit further, coming up with new tricks and stuff.
Are there any new tricks? Because, I mean, has it not already been done?
It has really been done, as you know, Kevin Carmichael, he's took the front wheel off his bike and everything else. Gary Rockwell started it all off, but there is little things out there which can be done.
Right. So you've been doing this 18 months now, you're making a living at it now? Yeah?
We are making a living out of it now at the moment, but the first year obviously we did struggle. We're still in a bit of a deficit at the moment, but we're just going to be scraping the battle.
Right. What did you do before this? What was your job before this then?
Before it, a long time ago, I used to be a motorcycle courier.
Is that where you learned to ride mad?
We won't go into that. And I used to work for TNT on the delivery side, on the wagons.
Yeah?
Right, around Anglesey.
Bit of a career change for you then. So you've always been into bikes then?
I've been into bikes since I could breathe.
I've noticed when you're out there doing your show, you try to entertain.
Yeah.
Because there are one or two stunt riders who are very good technically, but they don't quite get the accolades that they deserve because they don't entertain.
Bunch of wasps in the background there. What it is, I'm a showman, also entertainer. Yeah. I like to do the stunts. To perfect the stunts, make them look easy, but at the same time, make them look dangerous.
That's the art of it, isn't it? Making it look easy.
Yep.
You're a bit of a DJ as well, aren't you?
On the side, yeah.
You're a bit of an entertainer, aren't you?
I spin the wheels of plastic, because it's not vinyls anymore, it's CDs. And then I spin the wheels on the back tyres on the bike.
Right. Tell us the bikes you're using then. What's this ZX?
The bike that we're sat on at the moment is a bog standard ZX9R. It's one of these damage repairable jobs. Thank you very much to the sponsors, Demon Tweaks and Puterly and everybody else. The other one that we've got over there is a Bandit 1200. Unfortunately, one of the last shows at both Wells, it went pop. Right. So it's now got a 750, which was given to me free of charge by Sports Motorcycles in Chester.
And you have a scooter as well. I've noticed one or two stunt lads starting to use scooters.
That's right, yeah. I believe that I was one of the first ones to use scooters.
Right.
After we had a bit of an upset at both Wells when the Bandit blew up. Final show, on the final day, we decided we've got to fulfil the contract. Yeah. So we had to do a stunt show on the scooter. We dragged everybody in, put everyone to mix and match leathers. It looked like a bit of a comedy show. Right. Someone pulled a plank out from the crowd. We ended up jumping people off bales of hay.
On a scooter?
On a standard 125 scooter. It was donated by Scooters Direct in Queensferry.
And you're here to tell the tale, thank goodness.
Yeah.
What's the ultimate stunt then? You told me before, you said, I might try a backwards wheelie.
Yeah.
Are you mad?
Only slightly. You can ask the wife about that, she'll verify it.
You can't do a backwards, it's impossible that, can't we?
We've ridden backwards before.
Yeah, well,
sat on the handlebars and sat on the tag and sat on the tail end.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, I've got to the grips, I had a bit of a mishap and I wheelied by accident.
Right.
So we might just try it today, we'll see what happens.
Hey, well, I wish you all the best, mate. Tell you, good luck.
Stay tuned.
Time now to once again join our intrepid motorcycle tourers in the Moroccan desert. Previously, we've seen how the bikes are prepared for such a trip, but now the riders have arrived, they've had some breakfast, and there's just time for a few last-minute comments from the boss.
If you fall off, generally you're okay. If you fall off and somebody parks his Honda XR 400 in your back at 110 k's an hour, you're not okay anymore, okay? So do be careful. You mustn't run over kids, whatever happens. Okay? Sheep, bloody things are always running in front of you, but provided you don't back off the throttle or you don't brake, you go over them. Okay, and you don't even know you've really run it over. They're really skinny little things. In the UK, a sheep is worth about 20 kronas. Out here, a sheep is worth about 12,000 kronas. Okay? If you run over a sheep and you fall off so the guy can catch you, or you stop, you're going to be down about 12,000 kronas. Whatever you do not hit a kid. Okay? Whatever you've got to do to miss a kid, miss a kid. You do not hit a kid. Okay? You're in deep shit if you hit a kid. Okay? There's two things we don't allow. One is a burnout. Everybody know what a burnout is. Sit on your bike, gas it, just burn the tyre. Absolutely no skill in that at all. I can do a burnout, I can do a donut, and the only thing it does is burn, destroy your tyre.
After those few words of wisdom from John, there's just time to get kitted up into some of the most high-tech, sophisticated off-road motorcycle clothing you're ever likely to see. But perhaps you're wondering what kind of person takes on a journey of this proportion. Well, there are riders, we'll wish them luck, because now the adventure really begins.
We all set off together off-road and we see what happens, how it separates. Okay? As I said, generally Swedes, Norwegians, Finns, people like that have proved to be on average better than the Brits. Okay? Generally. So the group will probably split into two. We'll have a fast group and a slow group. The guys will split with the groups. Okay? So we'll have a fast group, have a medium group, and anybody who wants to take it really easy, take photos, talk to the little kids, stuff like that, will go with the Jeep. Okay. But you have to remember that Jeep, we go like hell for about 45 minutes and we stop, and within 5 minutes the Jeep arrives and you think, Jesus, how the hell's that done it? Okay. The Jeep's just going all the time. The bike's constantly stopping. People want to smoke, people want to take a cigarette, people want to take a pee, whatever. The Jeep is generally never more than 5 minutes behind unless the road is very, very rocky.
And tomato sauce, which is a known speciality. Yeah, and as well, it does help.
Very polite, these ones, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Goodness. If I see you. What, you know?
No, okay. Okay.
Yeah, this one? No?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We normally set off at about 11. We try to make the first day fairly relaxed. We don't want anybody hurting themselves because they're very tired. But because we leave so late, the first about 67 k's is actually on road. We go from here, we go due east to a place called Skura, and from there we go off road. The first bit is about 6 k's rocky in the riverbed, but then it becomes fast, winding trails until we get to Bulmain to Dades, really, which is about another 80 k's on from there. been watching you in the sand. You're trailing your inside leg, okay? You do not trail your leg. You've got it out to the side. Every now and then it's catching and it's been chucked back. Right. I mean the whole way, every single corner, your leg's out here to the side at 90 degrees. Big no. It's not just a case of stick your leg out the side and hope it's going to be all right. It's your nuts up on the tank and your foot right forward with that front spindle, knees slightly bent, okay? And it's not touching the ground. It's there, so if the bike does go, instinctively it comes down and it'll touch about there, kick the bike back upright. At Bull Main we can fill up with fuel again and we set off up into Jebel Sarum Mountains, which is south of the High Atlas. We do a big, about 98 kilometre loop, again on very nice winding trails, open corners, through lots of villages, into Tinahir.
Well, at the end of day one and after some 220 kilometres of riding, that's where we'll leave this very barren Moroccan scene, and we'll catch up with our desert tourers on Two Wheels next week. But still to come after the break, we'll be meeting Jeff at this year's Classic Bike Show at Stafford, and we'll have more chat from the Star Boys. Welcome back to Two Wheels. Still to come this week, we've got some amazing chat and incredible footage from the Star Boys on home ground in the good old US of A. But first, here's Jeff at this year's Classic Show.
If you're one of those riders who thinks the riding position of an R1 or a Ducati is a bit extreme and those bars are too low, what about this one? A 1956 BSA Gold Star with its clip-on bars. This is in clubman's trim, as they called it. This was a racer, but a racer for the road. You could also move the handlebars, not actually these, but get yourself an optional pair. On the top yoke here, there's a dummy piece of bar in there, but you could actually put normal bars. This has got rear sets on, but you can move the footrest forward. I don't mean these footrests, but actually buy the normal standard road set, put them there, and just ride it normally. From the rider's eye view up here, you've got a steering damper which is manual, no fancy hydraulics then, just a friction damper. And you see the twin clocks up here, and these were called chronometric, the rev counter and the speedometer. And I remember them, they used to actually click round in little stages, nothing smooth about them at all. But it's a beautiful bike and it feels so trim. If you look down here, because this was a time in the 50s before disc brakes, so you've got a massive front brake there, aluminium front brake, chrome rim, but it looks the business, doesn't it? It looks very, very racy. Interestingly up there, you've also got a front number plate at all, of course. And for you younger people, number plates were compulsory on all bikes up until about mid-70s, 1975. And with all the talk of speed cameras these days, who knows, bikes might actually get them back, because with forward-facing cameras, they can't catch you, can you? There's a thought for you. What else have we got? You can see the big air-cooled engine here. This is a 350, all alloy. They made a 500 as well. It looked just the same. This off here is a rev counter drive, mechanical of course. This is before electronics. Separate 4-speed gearbox there, and the gear change of course on the right-hand side. But perhaps its biggest trademark was this big chunky exhaust and the Gold Star silencer at the back, which always had a little twitter. I wish I could fire this up and then you'd hear it.
Some time ago on Two Wheels, I brought to you various different liners to go inside your visor with various different things on it, holograms, tints and everything else. Since then, there's been some developments of a new one that's come out. You recall the brand Fog City? The one that certainly avoids your visor misting up. Do you know how it came about? Well, I shall enlighten you. The man behind it lived in San Francisco, which is commonly known by the locals as the Fog City, because it's always foggy. He decided to design an item to go inside his visor to stop that problem. stop his visor fogging up, a guy called Rick Marlin. And we're very grateful to him because it's definitely an aid to road safety. Since then, things have developed and they've gone and produced this one, the Hyper Optics. And the difference is, this one is light sensitive. So as it gets brighter, I should say, outside, sunlight comes in, this will go darker, and vice versa. Now it does this rapidly. It will actually go darker in a matter of 4 seconds, and it takes less than a minute for it to go lighter. So it's a perfect thing to go inside your visor on any helmet. There's certain models that this won't go into, you've just got to check that with your dealer, but you could rest assured 99% of them it will. The basic one will cost you a tenner. There's various different ones to suit different models of helmets and so on, and this particular one fitted to Paul's RI helmet is in fact going to cost you 30 quid, the light sensitive one. Damn good value for money. What a shame this doesn't fit me.
If you're a regular viewer to Two Wheels, you'll know that recently I've spent some time with America's most outrageous motorcycle stunt team, the Star Boys. Last week we put them through their CBT, which was incredibly amusing. Previously we've seen them at the Scottish Motorcycle Show performing in the most horrendously wet conditions. This week I asked them about their riding styles back home in the US of A.
You do it a lot of it on the road in the States.
That's the only place to do it, though. You know, everybody.
Back then,
yeah.
We don't have it broken down airports. We don't have anything, like strips, anything.
No disused airfields over there.
You know, and actually, if you go to a street and try it, you know, one of the neighbors or someone around you would call the police on you. And
back in the day, though, we used to.
Couldn't do anything. So
that's the biggest controversy about us, is that we do everything on the streets, and our biggest argument against it is, where the hell else are we going to do it? You know what I mean? There's absolutely nowhere. It's not like we can afford to go out. You know, back in the day, it's not like we can go buy 30 acres and lay down cement so we have our own private little place.
Some people would say it's very dangerous, though, to do it on the street. I mean,
yeah, it is.
It is.
It's dangerous to do it anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
It's dangerous to drive and turn the radio.
How do you get on with the law? Do you get a lot of trouble? You keep getting locked up? Because you wouldn't, doing what you guys do back home, basically I don't think you'd last 10 minutes here, because you'd have every police force chasing you from one
we
end
do.
to
That happens at home.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
That happens.
We just don't pull over.
We don't ride with plates on the back of our bikes either.
It's bad. It's really bad back home. I mean,
actually,
they know
from our state, it's real bad.
Yeah, they know where we live. They patrol our houses constantly. They got like cars that just are there to keep an eye on us. I don't know what the hell the point is. It's just like, you know, they eat lunch in front of our houses.
We have three different guys that were assigned to us, our houses.
Yeah.
Your own police officers.
Yeah.
That got
it's
so
kinda
bad,
nice,
he moves.
We don't have to worry about locking the doors or anything. So
perhaps they all want to be the first police officer to lock up the Star Boys. Maybe that's what it is.
I think there is. I think there's something out there that's like a reward. The first, I mean, they accuse us of everything under the sun, of being like involved with peddling drugs to stealing bikes and stuff, and it's just bullshit stuff that they just come up with to try to give us like a bad name. And all we're really doing is just riding bikes, you know. Right. And I admit that, I mean, we all admit that, you know, it's illegal, but it's a traffic violation. It's not like we're robbing banks or frickin' shooting people.
So where did the idea for the Star Boys come from? Because it's a show thing now that you do, and you've got a big image now. I mean, did you suddenly think, hey, we can make some money out of this stunt business, or what?
We just started 4 years ago. We started filming what we were doing.
Did people come to watch you, like doing the stunts on in the neighborhood?
We made FTP for us, for ourselves, just like it's just like a home movie, you know, when you go film your kids. That's all it started to be.
But actually on Expressway, when we would play out there and compete with each other, people would come from everywhere to watch us. You look behind you, you know, because we didn't have mirrors on the bike, so we would have to turn around and run.
What else do you do? Is this just a full-time occupation now for you guys?
Yeah, we don't even have time for our families anymore. We're just so busy, you know.
We travel. We got a We started up a website a year ago, starboys.com, and it's generating almost 100,000 hits a month.
Wow.
So yeah, within a year, it's just like, it's amazing. It's amazed all of us because we had no idea what kind of impact. So just the website alone became a full-time job for us. The shows was probably like the secondary thing that we do. We really keep busy with making the videos. Of course, our main source of income. The videos is what kind of got our name out there, and that's what everybody associates Starboys with, is the videos. And then once the videos started selling, that just brought up a fan base to buy all of our other, like our jackets, our shirts, our hats, and stuff like that. Right. And then the shows, of course, came from the videos because people wanted to see us perform live. You know, they would buy the video, and we're like, these guys are great. I want to see them live on our track or at our bike shop, you know.
Well, I've met some very interesting and colourful characters over the years on two wheels, but believe me, riding of this calibre is rare indeed. And if you'd like to see more of these Starboys, then join us on next week's show when we'll be letting them loose on some supermotos. Also next week we'll be rejoining our Moroccan desert tour, and Jeff has some tips for those of you thinking of planning a motorcycle tour.